Cryptos have been capitulating on the back of the recent Binance news, now being sued $4 billion by the SEC. CZ stepping down. Seems like the whole crypto world is in turmoil. But is it? Let's look at the facts from the charts in today's video. After you hit the like and subscribe button, you know the deal. You know where you are at. You're the home of macro cycle analysis, studying the past to forecast the future. It seems that the history continues to rhyme time and time again, with major news coming after massive trends that have already been in play. I want to show you that in today's video. And again, we're going to look back on some of the history to see exactly how we got to this point, pinpointed from yours truly here on the channel, which you guys have been following, I hope, hitting that subscribe button. One quick shout out. Black Friday is here. Link in the top of the video description for TIA Premium. Jump on that. You will receive an email within the next 24 hours on how to get on board with that. Let's just kick it off with the big news. November 21st, US seeks more than $4 billion from Binance to end criminal case, yada, yada. You've probably seen the news headlines. It's the same garbage over and over again. I am sorry if you are just joining me and you've never seen my channel before. I'm going to show you why this is just garbage over and over again that gets regurgitated and people lose. Everyone gets caught up and psyched up into these news stories. And it's essentially a soap opera for men. I like Binance. I like CZ. But in terms of the news headlines and what it means to the market, I don't think it's going to mean a whole lot. And I'll show you why in the charts. And I'll show you what we've been talking about for over 12 months on the decline of Binance. So what we saw recently this year, this is all just building up to the case that I'm talking about of more nothing burgers, more steps in the wall of worry. We can see here US regulators sue top crypto exchange Binance March 28th. What does that look like for BTC? There is March 28th. I called it a nothing burger at the time, March 28th. And essentially, market is up from that point. Sure, we've got some pullbacks here in terms of a pullback in a percentage from the exact low, mind you, to the next exact low was all of 6.69%. So that's if you had your money ready from that low point and you bought at the exact next low, you made 6% on that. The upside, however, is roughly about 35% since that first bit of news. So this is the news of the US regulators suing top crypto exchange Binance. Okay, so yes, we do have some other news from that point. The US seeks more than $4 billion from Binance to end the criminal case. And we do know that CZ is also stepping down, probably going to go and take some time off. He has done amazing things for the industry. So nothing at all taken away from CZ or from Binance. What I'm having a go at is, of course, news headlines and the overreaction from the market itself. So we got through that. We got through the news. We've looked back now to March, so about 8 months ago. The market knows about this. It knows about things going on with Binance. And you can see that from the Bitcoin chart. And this has also increased. But is there more downside for cryptos and for Binance? They're the two ones that I want to get into in today's video because we are seeing cryptos roll over. The new day has started. We do have a slight green day at the moment. You can see a bit of green here, but obviously over the last 24 hours, cryptos have been down and they have been down for roughly that sort of 10 days. I want to show you how you can spot that to a T. I'm going to give you some of that in just a moment, but this stuff is just, it's so uncanny and it blows my mind all the time. This is why I love cryptos, why I love the finance, and why I love cycles as well. So my brother put up this just an hour or so ago. The Binance news isn't the cause of the correction. It's the catalyst for the correction. Add that to your wall of worry if you haven't already. If you want to join that wall of worry, join me over on X and you will find that as a pinned post so that you can stay informed. And your comments, all of you guys watching and who are following over there are fantastic when it comes to the wall of worry. You're seeing how it comes together. You're seeing how the pieces of the puzzle are pieced together to disguise what's actually going on in the market. It's very, very surprising for most. So let's take another step back in time. Nearly 12 months ago, basically just a little more than 11 months here, Forget the popular part, but let's just go with Jason Pizzino says Binance coin, the utility token of the world's largest crypto exchange, is likely headed for a trend reversal on the Bitcoin BTC chart. Mind you, this was at the peak of Binance BTC. So coming back all the way to this peak here, there's November, and there is your start of the December here. You can see the market was basically at the peak. It might not look like much there, but when you step it out onto a monthly chart, this is where we were, right up here. There's your November, there's your December. Way, way, way back at the peak of the market. The top to where we currently are is now down to 69% against Bitcoin. So that's Binance heading down, breaking major, major support levels. So going back to the popular analyst here, I don't know about that. But anyway, this was basically all forecasted back then. And of course, I want to explain to you why this is the case as well. We're looking at multi-year moves, multi-year cycles for Binance BTC. 21 months up, 21 months down, 22 months up. We're expecting roughly 22 months, call it 21 or 22 months to the downside. Sometimes it can be this simple. Now, at the time, I had no idea about Binance being sued. I had no idea about $4 billion for settlements or CZ stepping down. Of course, I've got no idea about any of that stuff. But all we do here is study the past to forecast the future. So if you can get your head around that and just sort of put all the news articles aside, which is why at the beginning of the video, I was so critical of news headlines. It destroys us. It destroys our insights into the market when we can just get the facts from the charts. The news headlines are there for the news headlines. We get to know about it, that's great, but let's not use them as part of our trading analysis. So on the one hand, let's not worry about the news headlines. On the other hand, let's just focus on the charts. And the charts, what are they saying? Well, it seems like they're still heading down. The trend is still down. The cycle is still down. We still have many more months to go. And this is looking like it's ending in roughly August, September of 2024 for BNB. And that has in the past coincided with the beginnings of the mega altcoin manias. So you may have recalled from previous videos. If you haven't, there's another chance for you to hit the subscribe button to join us here. From previous cycles, we can see the altcoin mania has picked up almost dead on those lows. So 2021, January, you can see the market went ballistic. At least BNB, Binance Coin, went ballistic there. Some of the other altcoins also went ballistic in that DeFi summer. You can see Binance also had a pickup. Of course, Binance is going to be making some profits off the cryptocurrency market, especially when they're having some pretty good gains to the upside. There is your collapse, and there is your mega altcoin seasons as well. Binance continued up from that point. So no matter what they do in that period, so through this period as well, they're talking about burning BNB, which means more BNB is coming off the market, which is reducing the supply. It doesn't matter because the demand is what is the most important, not the news. The demand is still down. It's obviously going to continue heading down. Looking at time cycles, it is like we just pointed out, it's very possible that we head out into the Northern Hemisphere summer of 2024 before we see some sort of bottoming pattern forming here. And in the past, that's been pretty quick. So I'm not expecting that it has to be that quick every time you get this move swiftly down and then a huge bounce back to the upside. But I'm just looking at it in terms of a time frame here. And if you guys can put those two together, 21 and 21 is roughly 42. You're getting that sort of coming up to that 4-year period as well. It's short of 4 years, but we're getting a nice 2 years up, 2 years down movement. And I expect that could be the same here. So if we did get a slightly longer move to the upside, maybe it's slightly shorter here just to account for that extra bit of time to the upside. So maybe it is going to be 20 months to the downside and get something similar to what happened here. So we're just going to keep a lookout for next year. We're going to get to the altcoins as well, how this has also been turning around. But let's just finish off the deal here with the Binance news. Isn't the cause of the correction, it's the catalyst. Gone through what we looked at over 12 months ago with the peak of Binance here. You can see on the chart. This is the video if you want to see it there, December 16th. I haven't taken any of these down. As I've pointed out before with other videos, the receipts are all up there on the channel. You can go ahead and find that. It's right around here at the video, 10-minute mark. And then we also looked at Bitcoin coming in to form a bottom before it started to head up. So all that stuff is in the past now. This is where I posted it to our members in TIA, December 14, 2022. It's just about the receipts at this point. And if you do want to learn more how to become a longer term investor, short-term trader, as I've pointed out here on the channel as well, you guys know what to do. Black Friday's on. This is going to be the best sale that you get all year from the Investor Accelerator. So check it out there. Link in the top of the video description. So that's BNB. That's where we are with Bitcoin. I don't think this is going to have an extreme impact on Bitcoin. You can see what happened last time with the news of Binance. There is your low, 6.5% lower over the course of the next 2 to 3 months. Is that going to happen again? Obviously, we'll wait and see. We're at some sort of timing now, some bit of a pullback. But let's just look to the downside in terms of a percentage here. You can see the price to the 50% level is roughly 31,500, which is at the tops of those markets. Can it come? Is it going to come all the way back there? Of course, I don't have a crystal ball to know exactly what it's going to do, but I'm just keeping my eye out on these very specific 50% levels, as hopefully you've seen the importance of these from previous videos, how important 50% levels are to any market, stocks, crypto, Bitcoin, whatever it is that you're charting. 50% levels are very, very important. So keep an eye on that. But of course, there are plenty of support levels to the downside before we get to that point. Now, the other piece is this little schematic here, which looks very similar. I mean, if you can squint a little bit, it almost looks very similar to where we are currently at. And it reminds me of the time back in 2019, all the way back here. So that's what I got it from. And 31 days later, the market took off again. So the timing there is from the peak to when the market just started to break out again here, clear the reaccumulation, and then broke out on the 30th of April. So there is my count, 28 days. And then to the breakout of the swing top, there's my 31 days. So you can see the volume picked up really heavily on that 31st day and broke the tops. So that's the signal I'll be looking at for now, if Bitcoin is going to break past these levels, and potentially Binance being the catalyst of the correction. But we probably still have a few more days to go, because if we get the count out for ourselves on Bitcoin, there is the big breakout. There is 35 days to the end of that, 31 days takes us to about the 23rd of November, so a couple more days to go. We still need to see whether this is going to be validated or invalidated. Nothing has to repeat exactly like the past. It's just an interesting bar pattern to keep in mind, as we may have seen something similar to this in the past, especially as the market had been breaking out of previous support, previous accumulation, and then heading north again. So that's BTC, and a look at what's happening with Binance at the moment, a look at what happened with Binance back in March and what happened to the price after that. If you've got a longer term perspective, even in the short term after that Binance move, Bitcoin still went to a new fresh high for 2023. Overall, that's why I'm labeling this down as part of the wall of worry. Now over to altcoins and the capitulation, or in some cases, some of them are coming down and starting to break down from significant support levels. How did this happen? How did we get to it? I want to just point a few more little things out to you. And again, hopefully no one gets too triggered on this. It's not a point out at people, but it's just an interesting look at market sentiment. And as you might know, I'm very, very interested in market sentiment and how this works. Some of you might be aware of the old Alex Becker channel here. So nothing to Alex. He's built massive businesses, $100 million businesses on understanding algorithms, understanding marketing. He is a master at this, got himself a $100 million business. So if you understand that, someone who goes quiet for 4 months and then all of a sudden starts popping up, making these ridiculous claims, crypto coins, yada, yada, got to get in, these things are going to blow up, last chance. Look at the timing of this stuff. 10 days ago, 2 days ago, nothing for 4 months. They know when the excitement is in the market, and they know these peaks in the market for sure. Let's have a look at Sol. 10 days ago, basically the peak of the market. Had a little push up, a little reversal down. This isn't over yet. This could hold up here and then continue to test. But you guys know the 50% level. Came out, hit the 50% level, did not close above it so far. And 10 days ago, from that point, got the exact peak from there, for that significant move to the downside. And basically the market has not gone above those levels from that point. So no closes above those levels. That's Solana. It can happen on 1 What about another? Link. It's another one of mine here. Exactly 50% hit exactly 10 days ago when these sorts of everyone going crazy. Not just Alex, not just trying to pick on one person here. I'm just very, very interested in market sentiment and what happens in social media because a lot of people follow this stuff. A lot of people, almost everyone was talking about altcoins at this stage and how they're going to go to the moon and, link to $100, Solana to $400, all those sorts of calls were being made then. Exactly 10 days ago, the market fades from that point. We got lower highs forming and lower lows forming. This is against Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has continued to stay strong there. I'm not saying that all altcoins are going to be bad. Don't get into any cryptos. There is going to be a very, very good time for these. And I think this was the first significant move out that shows us which ones are going to be good for the next cycle and which ones may not be so good for the next cycle. This is what I'm paying attention to. So I think altcoins, as I potentially have in the title, the correction, the collapse, the capitulation, whatever, is on its way at the moment because they're starting to hold up and you're starting to see some of that bad news spin into the cycle. So where do they end up? Well, let's first look towards the 50% level and then look towards some of the previous support and resistance levels for a potential entry opportunity. It's what you guys have been asking in the comment section. Which crypto should we buy? Well, buy the cryptos that look the strongest. Buy the cryptos that are having that pullback, that have already looked strong and are giving you that pullback opportunity. What I personally wouldn't buy, are cryptos that continue to break down under the 50% level and continue to break down underneath key support levels on the way up, because that's telling us that this was all just a fake pump. And that pattern also would show that it's going to test the low again. So it's going to put the crypto in a significantly weaker position than something that holds up. And yes, I hear the other folks at the other end saying, well, I want something at the lowest price possible. That is one thing to look at, but you also want something that is strong, because lowest price possible does not necessarily mean that it's going to give you the best returns moving forward. Lowest price possible could mean that it's going to continue to give you the lowest price possible and further and further and further. So that's why we look for these key signals that teach us when the market is holding up and when it's going to be strong, stuff that we go through in great detail with our members, TIA Premium, because this is changing on a daily basis, and stuff that was strong may not necessarily be strong next week. So never take anything at face value. Continue to do your research and watch for cryptos that are giving us these signals. So that is Link, exactly 10 days ago as well. Now I've got a couple that also did all right. My little notes here. Injective didn't do so well 10 days ago at the peak. You get the idea now, the breakdown here. It did get to a new all-time high against Bitcoin, which is absolutely fantastic in a bear market, but it's been breaking down. And this, of course, is Binance being a bit of a capitulation here. We've got the news today of Binance, and it's broken down from all of these previous swing bottoms as well. So Injective, something that is on my list, but I don't necessarily need to be trying to buy every single one of these dips. I think there's still a fair bit of time left, as I've pointed out in many videos now, that this is one of those good signals to show us which ones are going to be strong. Let's wait and see where they hold up. Do they hold those levels or do they continue to fade? Now, something that might not be as bad was Rune. Rune 10 days ago was at these levels. It did go a little bit further, didn't make 50%. Surprise, surprise, there's our 50% again, and it's on its way back down here. So it was definitely in the biggest hype stage there 10 days ago, and it seems like altcoins are really starting to struggle at this point. Bit of that bad news flowing back in, but what can you expect? That is just part of the cycle. Stay with the markets. Don't go anywhere, because this is the exciting part. This is the period now that exposes the junk and exposes the stuff that has a significant potential to do well in the next cycle. Thanks again for your support on the channel and checking out the previous videos that were a little lengthy in time, but I'm sure you got a ton of value from them. If you haven't, I'll leave a link to it at the end of this video. That one there goes into great detail about the entire financial system. Like and subscribe and share this video with a friend if they are looking to get into cryptocurrencies. Hopefully it sheds a light on how the altcoin cycles work, how not to get screwed, and what's going on with Bitcoin and Binance. See you guys at the next video. Black Friday special, link in the pinned comment. Catch you at the next one. Peace out.